Welcome to Season 3, Episode 4 of Roswell, New Mexico. Mom and I are very excited for tonight's episode. We are going to have a little bit of a discussion beforehand, so this will be the timestamp that the episode reaction starts at if you want to skip ahead to that. But first, okay, we have several points of discussion again tonight. So first off, because Maria in her vision said that she saw ash on someone's shoulder, that makes me think that this funeral is going to happen pretty quickly. Like, if either, like, the person dies, like, at the end of this episode, or it happens next episode. Because I think that, I mean, yeah, wildfires can burn for a little while, but, you know, not forever. So I think, like, because it's close enough that, like, ash has reached the town, I think it's going to happen very quickly.
I believe so.
Yes. But I am concerned that Maria mentioned being allergic to smoke. And that, because you were worried before that Maria might be the one who dies, and, I mean, if she's allergic to smoke and there are wildfires nearby, that is an additional danger for her. Oh, okay. So I think last week we were quite confused about Isabel saying that the church had burned down and how that means that, like, they can't eliminate anyone from their list of possible victims.
Confused.
We were very confused, but I think I figured out what she meant.
Oh, okay.
Because, so what threw me off, though, was that she's like, we can't eliminate anyone. And I was like, so, like, Alex is back on the list? Max is back on the list? But I don't think that's what she meant. I think, like, the people in the vision are still off the list.
I agree. The people in the vision are off the list.
But here's what I think she meant. So they were able to eliminate additional people because those people were people who would have had their services at the church as a separate place from the funeral home division. But now that the church is no longer an option, the church service people are now back on the list.
Oh,
That's, I think, what she meant. That makes sense to me. So, speaking of the people on that list, we've now come to my new worry of who might be murdered. My new fear is that it's Liz's father, Arturo. Well, no, my fear about it being Arturo is that, and I don't think it'll actually be him, because I think that would just, like, if they actually, like, if the person dies and, like, they're not able to prevent the funeral, like, if it goes forward, I don't think that they would choose Arturo, because I think that would just be, like, that's just sad for being sad. But I'm concerned it might be him because he's already been targeted for violence and vandalism. Like, in the very first episode, he mentions that, like, every year on the anniversary of Rosa's death that the diner is vandalized. So he's been targeted before.
Yeah,
but, like, I feel like because the attacks on him and on the diner have been partially racially motivated, that now that there's these, like, dedicated racist violent, these, like, 3 or 4 guys, that because Arturo has a history of being targeted, he might be targeted now.
We don't know.
Okay, so so I mentioned to you that there was a part of last week's episode that we completely missed. And actually, there are 3 other channels on YouTube who do Roswell reaction videos. None of them mentioned it either. So nobody caught this. But, like, as I was preparing the clips for last week's episode, I noticed it. So, and it's so important. It's, like, very, very relevant to where I think they would go with the plot. So but the volume was so low when it happened. So I'm going to show you the clip, and then we'll come back to this. I'll describe what happened, and then we'll discuss. Okay, so the clip is near the end of the episode when, so, you know, Alex is holding the stone and his machine radio thing turns on, and then it goes to Kyle and his radio pops on and it's the same song. And it's very hard to hear, but in between the crackly song, he hears his father's voice speaking to him, saying, he calls him Magoo, the nickname that we know that he has called him, and it says, if you've, and then it crackles, and it says, you've gone too far. The captions say you've come too far, but I think it's you've gone too far. Go back and watch it. But, okay, so basically I think there are 3 options for what happened. One, it's a recording, like his father made a recording and then somehow it plays on this radio. 2, is he's somehow like speaking to Kyle from the beyond, or 3, he's not really dead and is somehow using this to speak to him. I am leaning toward it's a recording. That he recorded it like in the weeks before he died. I have no idea how it's playing right now. Yeah, it's too weird and wild and like a storyline for Kyle that they'll definitely continue with this. So last point before we get to the episode reaction. So if it was true, like Mr. Jones was saying at the end of the episode, that he and Max are stronger together, that they're weaker when they're apart, that they need to be together.
Yes.
If that was true, it should apply to Mr. Jones as much as to Max. But I think that is not the case. I think that was a lie. Because literally the second the cage broke, Mr. Jones uses his powers, throws Max across the room, knocks him out, leaves him in the cage to die, and walks away. So clearly, Mr. Jones does not believe that he will be harmed by Max being left alone or possibly dying. So I don't think that it's true that they are as connected as he suggested. I'm sure there is some pull between them, some connection, but it's not like he described it. But then that leads to the question of, okay, well then what does Mr. Jones want? Because it doesn't appear to be Max.
No.
Because he left Max to die. He knows Max is very sick. He left him there to die. He's presumably going to pretend to be Max so that others don't go looking for him. So what does he want?
Yeah,
And
there's
if he's so
another
unconcerned about Max now,
scenario that's
why
going on there. You're
why
right.
did he stow away on their spaceship? Because he said that was to protect Max, to take care of Max, and obviously that's not what he wants. So why did he do that? How much of the other part of his story that he's told the past few episodes is true and not true? I think we're ready to start the episode. Okay, so she's dreaming. This is a dream? Because that's what he was wearing when she left.
Terrible night. I had to.
Oh no, here we go. Okay, how did he find his house? Did he check his driver's license? How does he know where Max lives? No! Is he gonna burn the house? Is he gonna earthquake the house? What is he looking for? He's looking for something.
I mean, how do you expect to find Wonderland without a white rabbit? Okay, first of all, my body, not your Wonderland.
They're both doing it? Oh, because I guess she can see it. Okay, that happened very quickly. What? Okay, so she's combining memories. What is this? Whoa! Whoa! She doesn't know about that yet.
Only you can find it, Maria.
This is so
You
weird.
can't see the rest of that funeral because you don't want to.
Interesting.
I threw myself off a building. Poof.
Oh, she acknowledged it, so
Just like
it
a treasure.
eliminated itself.
Oh God, that reminds me. Hold on.
Okay, that's cute.
You
That's
had to
cute.
mention Wonderland.
How do you intend to respond to the recent string of robberies targeting people of color?
I intend to get to the bottom of it.
Oh, okay.
Black lives matter. As do brown, red, white, blue.
Not helpful at all.
Our Lady of Guadalupe, she's the patron saint of Mexico. She's basically bigger than Jesus.
So she's got like better powers?
She is, right?
No, I did not just giggle at what he said. I take that
There's
back.
a crack. There's sort of getting the sense that something pretty bad happened to my sister.
Seeing as she's not around. Wait, they told her she died. They told him she died, right?
Whose notebook is that?
I think it's Max. Oh, no, no, no. That's Tripp's journal. Oh, no. Did he shoot a coyote? Did he accidentally shoot a coyote? A dog? So he's gonna heal the dog?
They think I'm a monster.
Yeah. You haven't healed the dog
I
yet.
don't know why. So what do we do now?
Whoa! Whoa! Oh! Boys!
If you figured out how to extract this message from the glass, then you've come too far. Walk away, Kyle. Because the alternative is a sacrifice no more Valenti should make.
That means what exactly?
That means take the job in New York. So his grandfather was killed by Mr. Jones. And then his father went, like, died of, like, that brain tumor from the alien. So he's afraid that Kyle, if he gets involved, will also die. Which I've been concerned about this whole season.
You have someone stashed in a cave who could help you find the answers you've been searching for since you were 7 years old. How about you stop licking your wounds and go talk to him?
Yeah, you should do that. You should, because it's Max.
I think you might be my happy accident, Lucky.
Oh, what? They're giving him a dog to what? Make him seem nicer? What is he up to? He hasn't done anything yet.
You're leaving and taking him with you? I don't want to hurt you. Just give me the boy.
We will never give him to you after everything that you have.
Oh!
That's up to you.
Okay. That's weird.
So you're gonna kill me now? Oh, but
Wait.
I told you. I just want my...
Hold on. So Max was kept in the cave where Mr. Jones ends up, but separate from Michael and Isabel? Because we know they end up in the same place. They come out of the pods together.
Focus, ladies. That was just the easy part.
Yeah, there's two Maxes. Maybe comment on that.
To the main event.
But okay, so now Max has that memory of the flashback from 48. But honestly, like, other than knowing that Mr. Jones was looking for him, I'm not sure how that really advances Mr. Jones's aim here, whatever that is. And honestly, even though he wants Max, like, in his possession, that doesn't mean that he cares about Max. I feel like he is intending to use Max for something. But, like how Noah said at the end of season 1, so Noah intended to use Max, knowing that Max would be a significant person to whoever comes for them. And he was like, I need you alive, but barely will do. It seems like that's Mr. Jones's opinion as well.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Liz Orteco for one, and you leave Liz out of this.
What's with his hands? What is that?
Now, will you trust me enough to let me heal you? You're not strong enough for that. Lucky seems to be
Says
doing just
who?
fine. Why? Because in 1948 you were searching for me? Nothing you showed me convinces me of anything else.
Right.
Then let me show you the rest.
Okay.
You set me up.
One road in, one road out.
Where is he? Where is
They
my
moved
boy?
him.
We
Okay.
moved him.
Okay, I was
In
right
one
then.
piece or in many? I saw those tools in there. What did you do to him?
We're trying to fix him.
So stop.
What?
Just give him to me.
Fix him.
We are two halves of a whole without me.
It doesn't make sense. That's not how clones work.
He said, I want my son back.
I know. But
He's
I think that's just... I don't think Max is his son. I think he's a clone. There's no reason, unless there was some weird alien thing when they made... Okay, here's the thing. If Nora and Louise made Max, there's no reason that they would have added something to that process that would have linked his life force to Mr. Jones, who they dislike. So, but, like, a clone is a completely separate... There's nothing that ties them together. Like, they're genetically the same, but they're separate people. There's no reason that we know of so far that would mean that if one of them dies, then the other one dies. And if he wanted Louise to be sympathetic to him, he might have called Max his son for that purpose. But interesting that they did keep him separate from the other kids.
I don't know how you're so different now. It doesn't make sense.
Well, because hate is learned?
I think I need some time away from this place. I need to figure out who I am, who I want to be, you know?
Yeah. Go about your way.
He was hunting Nora and Louise, just like Tripp said, but he didn't want to hurt me.
You don't know that.
He wanted to save me from them.
You don't know that.
It's your choice, but if you're game, I will back you.
Well, yeah, because otherwise Max dies. Valenti, oh my god, this is
I
dangerous.
don't know about what you and your buddy Zeke did over at the Lopez farm.
Oh my god. Kyle.
I don't know her at all. We need to get to that coffin.
It's Kyle.
The Valenti coat of arms. Oh my god, it's Kyle.
They could have cracked a rib.
Yeah, why do they have to cover it up?
Holy shit!
Come face to face with the dark side. This is the long game. This is the new life. The battle begins on the inside.
He got Dean Winchester.
This is only the beginning. This is revival.
Max?
Hey, yeah, I think I found him.
Oh, thank God.
Okay. What's the plan? He's...
Is he okay?
No. Call an ambulance.
This is only the beginning.
Oh, hey.
Is she feel Max?
You alright?
Did he do something to her?
Roswell.
Okay, it's Max. And Max is like, oh my god.
This is only the
Because he's trying to
beginning.
do it.
And he's close to death himself. Is it possible that they can heal him somehow, but then have to pretend that he's dead because that guy thinks that he killed him, and if he ends up suddenly not dead, that would be suspicious? Or is it Kyle, and that's it? I did not want to be right.
And why would they think they need to cover it up for another alien murder? When the
That's
other guy's
true.
DNA is all over his face.
Unless he has the handprint on him, but still. Oh, I mean, it seems like... Okay, so the ambulance is going to show up within a few minutes. Max, it seems like, is so affected by this that Liz can feel it hundreds of miles away.
Yeah.
Well, honestly, I don't think Max could heal Kyle. It seems like Kyle had passed by that point. I don't think Max would be strong enough to heal him at... I mean, he was at full power for
Yeah,
full power for what he had when he healed Rosa, and that killed him. And now he's close to death. He can't heal Kyle. Mr. Jones might be able to, but that would involve them... Mr. Jones is now in the cave, so
That's
even
too
if they
much
brought
time.
Exactly, the ambulance is going to show up in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, is then the cover-up... Because then they have to steal Kyle's body to try and have Mr. Jones heal him? Or bring him back from the dead? Because at that point, definitely dead. If he's not definitely dead right now. He seemed dead. But you're right that just a violent murder not committed by an alien, why would they cover that up? They would not. They specifically would not. It seems like it's the handprint then. But they can't just have him they can't let him have a regular autopsy with the handprint. They'd have to use Alex to get some unauthorized coroner. I mean, they have no reason to protect that guy, but I mean, one of the options for why they would cover it up is that
they think
there's a
it's somebody-
handprint
yeah,
on the
there's-
victim.
But that's not cause of death.
No, but a coroner is going to think that that's very suspicious. A regular coroner is not just going to let that go.
How are they going to get that? How are they going to cover that up?
Deep sky. I mean, I was afraid it was Kyle since we figured out that someone was going to die. I was afraid it was Kyle. But now that it is, I'm like, I mean, Rosa died and she's still around. So, like, what they could do is put him in the pod and then have Mr. Jones save him. Because I feel like he would be strong enough to do that. Because he's stronger than Max. I don't think it would kill Mr. Jones. So there is that option. I feel like Mr. Jones would have a high price for that. I feel like he would do it if Max promised him something.
It's a closed casket and nobody's there, or they're going to steal the body afterwards.
Well, either way. I mean, I think Rosa had a funeral and then her body was taken and put in the pod. That could be what they do with Kyle and then have Mr. Jones heal him. I'm hoping that is what happens, because I don't like the option of Kyle just being gone.
At the funeral, we're very upset.
It's possible that also, like Rosa, the people who do it don't tell anyone. And then after the funeral, maybe tell them. Or it's possible that Liz and Rosa were basically pretending. Like, that they know Kyle is... Well, because Kyle could still be dead in the pod during the funeral. Like, it's going to happen in just a few days. So, Mr. Jones might not have agreed to heal Kyle yet. So, like, currently, he could still be dead, just in the pod. I'm thinking that might be what they do. And I feel like with Alex's Deep Sky connections, they could do that. It's a big secret for Alex to keep from his boss, but it's possible. Well, I really hope I hope that they pull a Rosa. I hope that that's what happens. I'm so sad though. I mean, I knew it, but I'm still, it's horrible.
Yeah.
Next week, I guess. This is such a depressing ending, but there is some hope though that they'll do with Kyle what they did with Rosa. And that's what I'm going to cling to for the next week. Because that's the plan. Okay. Next week.